one at that base here. At least he's going to wall off, but he's going to wall his own SCVs, and this is tragic. And look, the only base that has a turret is the third base, and he may even be able to target it down before it matters, or just ignore it.
Yeah, well, look how many SCVs he's already killed, 13. He can lose the DTs at this point. He's making 4 more just...
I mean, this is a game-ending damage.
I need a thesaurus to describe properly what's going on here.
He doesn't even have a turret making at his main base. He's not even making one. He's going to lose his armory, which means no 2-2. He's going to save that DT. Oh, I guess he didn't click on it. But he's going to kill the eBay as well. So much lost mining time. Well, sorry, Tasia fans, this is not looking good.
Wow. No, it's not. Like, I was very excited for this match. Like, Zest is like ruining esports, man. Like, he just is like too good right now. It's very rare that we get a player that's this far ahead of everyone else. Like, the thing is, Tasia really played so well against Trap. I was so impressed. It was some really solid top-tier Terran play, but
Trap
here's
no
Zest just
you know?
no, it's definitely true, but look at how good Zest is right now. This is like madness how good he is. Like, in every regard, you just can't do anything to him at any point. He's like he has no holes. His builds are sharp. His micro's perfect. His multitasking is off the charts. Like, he has a third eye that's always on the mini-map. All his buildings are placed correctly. His tech is correct. His scouting is correct. It's just like, I mean, this is the guy by far. Like, he looks much better right now than he did when he won GSL.
Yeah, he's really
much better. And I'm talking in comparison to other people too. It's just.
I mean, the dominance that we're seeing here reminds me of like I am MVP or something. You know, like it's just like. He's on another level from the other Terrans. In this case, that's like on another level from the other Protosses.
It reminds me a little bit as well of like when Rain was by far the best Protoss, but less turtley, which is even scarier because he's got perfect defense, but he's also attacking you. So it's like, I don't know, man.
He's looking really, really strong.
We might have a quick night tonight.
It starts to look that way. I mean, after watching that second game, I have no faith in Tasia. So
I feel bad. Well, at least he gets the seed for next season, right? So that's that's promising. We'll see how it's not over, I guess. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we'll see if Tasia can get something done in Game 3.
One, two, three, 5. Let's make it hot.
에너지 음료 핫식스는 GSL과 함께합니다.
언제나 있는 그대로의 맑고 깨끗함을 지켜가라고. 겨울을 잊은 강물이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
BT의 몸을 맡겨라.
새로운 영웅은 언제나 환영이야.
오버워치 5월 24일 출시. 예약 구매로 누구보다 빠르게 친구와 오픈 베타에 접속하세요.
거기 당신 내 이야기 들어볼래? 아주 오래된 얘기를 해줄게. 깊이 잠들었던 아기 비명을 지르며 저 어둠 속에서 자라나고 있지. 고대 신의 속삭임이.
회의가 좀 늦게 끝나서.
아 그래요? 괜찮아요. 그냥 게임 몇 판 하면서 기다리고 있을게요.
아씨 뭐 하는 거야, 그래도. 아 오라고 좀. 소리만 들었나 부서지지도 않네.
이상한 RPG 게임이 있습니다. 말리고
아이템 충분해요.
말리고
이번 뽑기 확률 별로예요.
또 말립니다.
참 좀 주세요.
뭘 믿고 이러는 걸까요?
믿는 구석이 있다. RPG 그대로의 RPG 불멸의 전사 2.
치킨 먹고 갈래? 치킨만 먹고 가라. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
차 뽑고 정확한 견적 뽑고 금융 혜택도 뽑고 자판기처럼 쉽게 차를 뽑다. 다나와 자동차.
지금 바로 여기 625
피자통, 떡볶이통, 짬뽕통, 보쌈통. 대한민국 모든 배달 음식 통을 응원합니다. 배달은 우리가.
웬열? 와, 어떻게 저렇게 부드럽게 움직이냐? 플렉스볼은 굴곡진 턱선에도 막힘이 없거든. 진짜 깔끔하다. 대세야 역시.
2,500만 명의 선택. 플렉스볼 아직도 안 써보셨나요? 질레트.
치킨 먹고 갈래? 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
위기의 순간이 찾아오면 나의 두 번째 전사가 함께한다. 이번엔 듀얼이야. 스타일리시 듀얼 액션 RPG. 자신 있어?
You are in Cone.
Imagine crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she said, we can take a break.
Hot 6 GSL Season 1 CodeS.
Somebody call the police because Tage is getting murdered tonight.
He's already got 2 stab wounds in him. Zest looking to finish him off here now as we go into Rakshir for game number 3. And I mean, it's basically just been flawless play after flawless play from Zest. He has more bases than Tasia. He's harassing Tasia. He's killing him with DTs. Like, you don't have turrets, I'll make 4 more.
You know what I'm watching is complete understanding of PBT. Like, miles above everyone else's. And the thing is, we have very good PvT players, but like what Zest is showing off here, like we should all just be in awe that we get to be here at this moment and watch what we're watching. We're watching a man that gets it more than everybody else, and we can only learn from him. Everyone in the world can learn from Zest. Every Terran, every Protoss, he's the smartest at this matchup right now.
Well, guys, let's see if Tasia can bring it back or if Zest is going to close it out.
In the top left, this might be it for him. A legend.
Team Liquid, 패자.
His opponent, who can't decide if beating Tasia or counting the 3 is easier.
Isn't it the same thing?
Well, that's what we're about to find out.
Oh man!
If Tasia takes a game, I guess maybe it was harder than counting the 3. He's even harassing like Tasia's building SCVs more than us normally do. He's like really committing to it. He's really trying to get in his head here.
Well, I mean, he truly is in the zone, right? What can we say, man? He's like the way that he's playing is. Oh man.
Well, I mean,
I'm speechless about like how good his play has been so far.
I feel for Tasia, this has been since the region lock, where he's not allowed to play in other tournaments anymore outside of Korea. Have been his proving ground, and he did prove to a lot of people, when he made it to the round of 8. Like, people are saying, oh, he only won 4 in tournaments. He's not going to do well in Korea. He's not going to succeed. Making it this far is definitely a big statement, and I think even if he gets knocked out here and loses this 3rd game, no one can say he's not as good as the top Koreans because he made top 8 GSL.
Yeah.
But Zest is just, he's like -1 in GSL. He's like not even necessarily the best. He's like more than that. I don't know how to explain it. With how well he's playing right now, I haven't seen a match this one-sided in the round of 8 since, I don't know. I can't even think of an example.
Well, we'll see how this goes. This 3rd game. I mean, I guess the thing is, I came in here today thinking Tasia does have some chance. Like, obviously, Zest is a big favorite, but Zest against Kier in the previous round. Kier should have won on Saris. Absolutely should have won on Ruins of Saris. And Kier absolutely didn't have to die when he did on Dusk Towers. Like, I mean, Zest 2-0'd him, but it absolutely didn't have to look like that. In fact, there is... I mean, I don't know. If Kier doesn't die there, it doesn't mean that he wins Dusk Towers, but Game 2, absolutely he should have won and screwed up, and that's his fault, not Zest's brilliance there. But and with how well Tasia played in that last round, it felt like this was not going to be looking like it is right now. So this is one of those maps you don't get nearly as much practice on. Don't forget that Zest also has to help his teammates and play in Pro League. So a map like this, he just has less time than Tasia on a map like this. Or he should.
Yeah, and look at what is happening already for his build. He's going for 3 barracks stim, so no factory tech, no early drop. He's going to have a lot of Marines out to pressure with early. And also if we see an early attack from Zest, he'll have those to defend and then perhaps counterattack. Looks to be a DT drop with a slightly... like the timing doesn't work out perfectly with the Warp Prism, but he should be able to do some damage and warp in some DTs over there.
Yeah, it's a really good build by Zest. And in fact, this is kind of how he dismantled Tasia in the round of 32. It was just like dropping DTs and stuff. And
that scan! So unfortunate.
Okay, he sees the Prism. So it either would be like an Adept warp in or a DT warp in. Like 99% with the Prism just flying out right like that. So
he's starting in a bay.
Yeah, I think Tasia has enough information that he shouldn't be dropping any more mules. He should just kind of be chilling right now, trying to get some detection up. But the thing is, like, DT drops aren't really all in. It's a pretty solid opener. It's not necessarily the best if it does no damage, but it's not an auto loss.
And, you know, he needs to shut these DTs down right away, though, because obviously without combat shields done just yet, they're very close. But DTs can just one-shot a Marine, so he can actually do a lot more than just SCV damage here, should it go that way. He's already in position here, though, and Zest is going to drop one out to force a scan. Perfect control. And he may even drop another one at the natural.
Well, this zones out the Marine so that he can do whatever he wants with that Prism.
Does he not have a
decent
scan?
damage?
Oh, my God. He's actually going to save one, I think. He's just going to fight this straight up. No combat shields, as I was saying.
Oh, man. Tanking some with that War Prism. And the combat shields just finished then. Stim is about to finish. If either of those had been done, that would have looked a little bit different. But Tasia is still okay here, I guess. Does he have another scan? Oh, he lifted his command center. Oh, God.
Oh, he's feeling the nerves right now. He has a scan now, but he's not using it. There it goes. But lost mind time at the natural as well. Looks like he may have accidentally lifted both CCs.
Oh.
He did. Look at that. Why would those SCVs come back like that? He
yeah,
accidentally lifted both CCs. So much lost mining time.
Huh. Well, we don't know exactly what his hotkeys are, but that's definitely like just you know, an unfortunate error for him. Luckily, he got the Prism. He lost some mining time there, which was kind of sucky. He lost 10 Marines. I think the Marines, you know, obviously that's going to hinder him at doing damage. Yeah. Because, I mean, Stim and combat shields this quickly, you definitely have potential, you know, to force a little bit of damage.
I'm interested. We're seeing Blink come up here and not Glaives versus an almost pure Marine composition. He's about to have 5 more gateways here. So
I think it has to do with the map. A lot of it, like he kind of needs this mobility. I'm not sure that Glaives would really help him quite enough. But look at this, the Marine's coming up. He has some medevacs.
Yeah, he needs to.
Tasia fighting back now.
He needs to get the Stalkers over there. Time Warp even being used here to slow this down. Probes coming off the line as well. And he will get those units over here. They're taking a long time. So many probes already taken damage. 5 down. And this will be defended, but this is the first step in the right direction for Tasia in this game.
Yeah, well done. All right. I mean, this is pretty good for Tasia so far. He's continuing to rally up a little bit, but a lot of Stalkers have come in. Don't forget that Zest added quite a few gateways right before this, and they are done.
Yeah, 5 at a time coming in now, and he is about to have Blink, so this army needs to get out of here. One drop is already down. He may chase and kill every last Marine.
Yeah, Tasia actually needs to go all the way home at this point. He cannot stay out here right now.
He doesn't chase all the way, but you know, Tasia's army does survive some of it. He's down 20 supply here. He's about to have +1. His army is even with Zest right now for a little bit longer. I think now's the time where he can get some damage done. If he doesn't do it like right now, I think he's going to be struggling for the rest of this game to find any damage. He doesn't even have a third base, you know, set up. His third CC is only just now being started.
And Zest is actually taking a 4th right now while making a Prism. He's getting Glaives. He's doing things that Zest does. But Tasia has a reasonable army, really, when you look at it. 7 Marauders, you know, like 20-ish Marines, a good amount of medevacs. He has concussive shells as well. Don't underestimate concussive shells early on. It's it's a strong upgrade.
And, you know, this is the one time in this game, I feel, where he's ahead in army supply. Look at it, 61 to 50. He has this powerful army you were just describing. He has +1 attack. He's got +1 army on the way. I think this is his time to find some damage. He's got the small window. Look, it's closing already with the 4th base economy coming up for Zest.
Glaives aren't done yet, so this is an opportunity, and he's kiting back quite well. Kiting very good against these Adepts. Now the Dark Templar coming up as well, as trying to sneak in some of that cloak damage.
Yeah, look at this. A Blink forward here. He's very confident. Blinking on top of Marauders, but that 1 DT is adding so much in here to this damage, and he can Blink forward again onto these medevacs.
All right, well, more units are coming up, actually. He has a Widowmine here as well. He's got to target down. Nice micro by Tasia, pulling back the Widowmine. Very well done there. And now he's starting to push forward here. A good amount of Marauders, dealing huge amounts of damage to this Stalker-based army.
Forcing him back yet again, but the 4th base is complete to the top right. Tasia is moving this 3rd over right now. It's not an orbital, but he's so desperate for the extra mining. There's a DT over here. Zest is basically using these DTs like observers that block CCs. He's got them all over the map. He keeps saying them. He's forcing scans. He's going to force another one. There's the canceled landing. And if he doesn't have a scan, it's going to be a lot longer before he gets that.
All right, luckily he does, but the amount of scans he is forcing out of Tasia is very painful, especially considering that Zest has 4 bases. But right now, I believe that's a medevac going to the top right base.
It's a Liberator, I think.
Oh, it is a Liberator. Okay, that's great as well. That's not a lot of supply that he's spending up there, so he should have enough units at home to just hold on against whatever Zest is bringing his way.
Oh, the turret
This
does not finish.
This is so brutal. Come on. All right, he does get that finished up. Tries to get that Widowmine forward, and unfortunately, they do get picked off.
This is a really small army for Zest.
Yeah.
I think he actually is overextended here. He's definitely going to have to blink away and get out. He's got an Observer for high ground vision. I think he should definitely use it. There you go. The Liberator looks like it was killed by something to the top right by meanwhile, so I'm not sure what happened.
I think he just warped in some Stalkers up there. Which would also explain why his army that he was attacking with was a little bit smaller than it should have been. But this is one of the beautiful things about Tasia. When he gets a little bit later in the game, he will pull you out of position with Liberator harassment. This is part of the way that he ended up beating Trap.
All right, a concave here for Zest. He does drop that Time Warp as well, but decent Widowmine shots onto those Adepts, and he's getting more reinforcements here.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of Stalkers warping in as well. Look at how many Observers are in here. This is like kind of crazy. You can tell that Zest is actually more taxed than usual to have 5 Observers together.
Yeah. He's like going to look the hell out of that army.
Yeah.
He's going to detect it so hard.
He can see it so well. If there are any cloaked ghosts, he will know. He will know.
Very true. He's like, I saw that my coach told me you went Cloaked Banshee in game 1, so I was wondering about that.
Look at this. He's actually getting plasma shields as opposed to armor, which is really interesting.
Maybe for the Immortals and I guess Archons coming up later?
It's technically better on Blink Stalkers than regular armor because you're trying to blink them away before they take real damage anyways.
That's true.
So just very interesting to see that out of him. And of course, much better on Observers, 5 of which are with his army right now.
Yeah, he's out of control with the Observers. And I guess it'll also help him later on if he wants to transition to Tempests, if this game ever ends up to be in such a place. I'm not sure that it will, but Warp Prism now into the main base this time, filled with 2 Adepts and 2 DTs and a big Warpin as well. He's got units at home, but he needs to bring some home with him. And he is sending a medevac back to defend, it looks like.
That is a lot of units coming in here to do some damage, and he will bring up a couple medevacs, start loading out as well, but more units being warped in by Zest in that Warp Prism. Don't forget there's some Dark Templars in there also.
Oh, this army over here very small as well. Looks like he's going to blink back. Here comes the Guardian, Shield, and Immortals, though, and Tasia will have to back away versus this army.
Yeah, specifically those Immortals are too tough for him to take care of at the moment. We actually have a Widowmine hitting. I guess those Observers were not around for that one. This is a lot of Adepts going into the main base as well.
So much damage being done here, and once he gets on top of this production, there's not going to be any more units coming in. Ooh, Shade goes on top of the Widowmine, but still, no kills on these Adepts. He's just going to kill anything that spawns. If this army goes home, Zest can hit the 3rd base. And don't forget, he is still up a base, 4-3.
Well, that's the real problem. If he was on 3 bases, this game would actually be a whole hell of a lot evener, but as is, Tasia's barely holding on down a base.
Yep, so exactly what I said. As soon as the army goes to the main base, he hits the 3rd. And because he has a ton of Blink Stalkers here, I think he may be able to kill it. A few reinforcements coming over.
Oh, he should not be sending just a few reinforcements. Those Immortals deal way too much damage for that. The Immortals go forward here. He's trying to save everything, and down comes the big chunk of his army now.
Yeah, down to 28 SCVs. Despite that repair, you know, he saves the CC. He's down so low in economy, 28 to 69.
He needed to like have a drop going or something. The thing is, he might have died if he had done that. This is the real problem. Like Zest somehow, even after taking some damage early on, has just he's just kind of done it. Like he's kept Tasia so busy. He's put so much pressure on him that Tasia's one harassment in this second half of the game was like a single Liberator that we didn't even get to see, which got cleaned up right away. So that's really rough, man. Like Zest is just mining with impunity at home.
Yeah. Well, Tasia has a larger army in supply, and he got some really nice Widowmine hits. This could be the beginning of potentially a comeback here, but look at this. All it takes is a barrier on the Immortal versus almost pure Marauder. In fact, I think that is pure Marauder.
Yeah.
I don't see a single Marine. This base is removed. He's actually moving it down to that 3rd base. I guess a 4th base in this case now, but I mean,
14 DTs.
You look at the income to the top right. Zest is mining double what Tasia is in a minute.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, and he's being enough cost efficient that it really works out for him. Now, going after this base at the gold, if Tasia could get something like that mining, maybe he'd have a chance to come back, but Coming up here with the rest of his units, 2-2 is about to finish for Zest, but isn't quite there yet, and this is not an engagement that he's going to win.
Yeah, this is actually not a win for him at all. In fact, this is a huge win for Tasia. Tasia's going to be able to counterattack off of this.
This was actually like a huge mistake by Zest to attack right there. That was literally right before 2-2 finished. I mean, that was, and that's what we call an anti-timing.
Yeah.
You've spent money on those upgrades. They're about to, not that he wins that battle, but it definitely looks better than that with the 2-2. Definitely a big mistake. He is backing up now.
He has a ton of economy, and he's so confident to even start his 3-3 versus this counterattack. And Tasia, you know, is actually, things get crazy there for a second. Tasia is going to be forced to retreat with those warpins. Didn't have his entire army together, and that's part of the power of Protoss, that defensive advantage you have. With all those warpins you can make, the Terran has to actually walk across the map. He will finally kill that Dark Shrine, which got so many kills that plagued him in the early game.
Yeah, there's been like 20 DTs warped in. It's kind of crazy. Oh, he actually loses his Warp Prism. That is a great pickoff right there for Tasia. Tasia having to run, though. This army, pretty scary. I mean, it's small and scrappy, but that's the name of the game right now.
Yeah, look at the production tab. It really tells the story of how ahead Zest is right now in economy. He's just constantly making stuff, even back at home. Whereas Tasia can only afford a few Marines here. He has 6 SCVs on the map, and he's got like more mules at this base than he has SCVs, 6 mules. And he's trying to repair it, but he doesn't have enough money to repair his orbital.
Oh,
and this should
man.
be game over. GG.
Just, wow. Zest is like pretty good. He's, I guess we'll see if anyone can stop him, man. In that matchup, he doesn't feel like anyone can, but TY and Kira, I definitely would say both are better than Tasia. So I don't think that like all of his matches are going to look to do this. I know that he has now won something like 11 TVTs in a row,
Yes.
something like that.
I think 12 actually now.
12 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's very impressive, but this, I mean, tonight was so impressive. It's hard for me to like play the devil's advocate at all, but believe me, like versus Kira, for instance, he did look mortal.
Yeah. His nickname here, like looking at nicknames yesterday, is like he's the strong river. It says he's strong and sturdy. And that's just who Zest is, man. He will not be broken. He will not be stopped by your harassment. But we're going to jump into an interview, so I'm going to let Sojung come in and translate. We'll be back for the next series.
Thank you all. Sojung, I feel like you barely left here. That was such a fast series.
I know. Well, I kind of expected this too because, you know, everyone expected this, I thought. No.
Yes. I didn't expect it to look like that and be that quick, though.
Well, no losses for PBT for Zest. Congratulations to Zest from KT Ulster.
축하드립니다. 소감 어떠세요?
솔직히 자신이 있었는데
I was confident,
요즘부터 좀 이상하게 져가지고
but I did kind of lose weirdly to Tasia, and I was kind of worried in those kind of areas, but I knew I would win.
3대 0의 스코어고 더 단단한
3-0
요즘
become
연습
sturdier.
정말 열심히 하시는 것 같아요.
I think he practices harder and harder.
솔직히 연습은 군단의 심장대가 더 하는 것 같아요.
I think I practice more for Heart of Swarm, but practices from then, know-hows,
잘 하고 있는 것 같아요.
자, 한 단계 한 단계 올라갈수록 더 단단해지는 경기력을 느낄
Well,
수가
he
있습니다.
becomes
오늘
stronger and
이
stronger
자신이 유리할 때
to Legacy of the Void, and his decision just becomes smarter. Talking about Dark Templar, the 4 Dark Templars.
제가 처음에 좀 사도로 흔들면서 경기를
Well, I had the
풀어가지고
adept harassing in the beginning.
원래 미사일 터렛이 있는데
I saw the missile turrets. I didn't see it. There was none. So it was over. I knew it was over.
참 암흑기사를 운영으로 가든 아니면
Well, he uses Dark Templar really well.
암흑기사를 활용하는 걸 굉장히 좋아하는 것 같아요.
And he likes to use them very well.
그렇게 쓰는 그 유닛을 쓰는 때 있어서 자신감이 있는 것 같은데 어떠세요?
And there's confidence when you use Dark Templars.
멀리서 태울 수 있어가지고 그 부분에서 스캔을 써도 암흑기사를
Well, you
잡을지 안 잡을지
can't.
몰라가지고
Well, you don't know if you'll be able to catch the DT or not, even if you use the scan.
그 부분이 제가 자신 있는 부분이어서.
And I'm confident about it.
네. 거기다 또 재밌는 건 주성 선수 경기를 보다 보면 참 상대와의 심리전을 할 때 공간 활용도 굉장히 잘하는 것
About the
같아요.
mentality fight
오늘 이
too.
마지막 세트 암흑성소 짓는 위치도 그렇고 다양한
About where
측면에
he
있어서
built the
건물
buildings
활용
too.
많이 준비하는 부분이죠.
아니요, 그냥 전 단순하게
Well, actually,
보통
no.
거기다 짓거든요.
네.
Because that's why I just build it there.
모르겠어요.
I don't know.
사람들이 스캔을 좀 넥서스 근처에 쓰고
Well, Terrans
싶나 봐요.
tend to scan near the Nexus,
스타트
so.
지점이 거기니까.
네.
네, 다음엔 이제 넥서스 옆에 지으려고.
But I don't. I think I'll just build it next to the
아무 생각
Nexus
없이 단순하게 하는 건데
next time.
상대들이 알아서 말린다 이런 느낌인 것처럼 들리는데.
네, 저는 좀 단순한 편이에요.
Well, I'm actually a simple kind of guy, so.
이렇게 위치를 활용하는 건물을 짓는 습관이 있는 줄
Well,
알았는데
I thought
아니었습니다.
he was kind of
자,
a
이제
location using type of guy.
유성 선수의 상대가 가려집니다.
Well, now,
한강의 마지막 경기가 있는데요.
The last
여기서
game
백동규 선수와 황강호
will be
선수가
not last opponent for Zest will be decided.
까다로운 상대인데 한 명은
They're both very,
한
very
명은
difficult.
이주성 선수의
One of them
프로리그
is a
성적을
teammate
80에서
of
1패를 또 맡고
Zest,
있는 팀이거든요. 백동규 선수.
and next is
어떤
Deer
분이 나을 것
from
같아요?
Samsung Galaxy. Let's see who he
물론
prefers.
같은 팀인 강호가
Well, I think
올라갔으면
Lazira, I
좋겠지만
hope our teammate comes up,
팀킬을
Lazira,
또
but
하기 싫고
I don't want to do
그래가지고
team kill, so maybe,
될 대로 됐습니다.
I don't know, just K Sarah, I guess.
네, 자
Does he
이렇게
hope his
해서
teammate loses then? That's so sad.
3점만 넘으면 오랜만에 국내 리그
Well, it's been a long time since he's been to finals in
이제 한 번
Korea.
남았는데
There's only
앞으로
one
가서
more stage to go.
제가 스타리그 결승 대업이 하는 거 보면서
After I saw
야외에서
stats
하는 거
do it
봤거든요.
outside,
근데 저는 야외에서
outside,
해본 적이 없어가지고
I haven't done it before outside.
네,
The
보면서
final
좀
stage,
부러웠는데
I kind
이번에
of
꼭
envied him.
올라가서
I want to do it
멋진
too.
결승 치러서 우승하고 싶어요.
네,
And
자 우승에 대한
win this
다시 한번
tournament.
이런 각오를 드러내 주셨는데요.
Well,
다시 한번
anyways,
축하드립니다.
congratulations
감사합니다.
to Zest.
자 이렇게
Alright.
오늘
And
8강
this was
3경기의
Zest
4강
making
진출자
it
KT 롤스터
Yeah.
주성 선수를
Semi-finals?
만나봤는데요.
That's
자, 이어서
he wants to not have a team kill. He's like, well, I don't want to kill Lucir, so I hope he loses tonight. It's like really sad. All right, I mean, he looks too good. You think he's gonna win the whole thing, Sojung? Like the whole GSL?
You know, no.
No?
Yeah, no.
Yeah? No?
No. Yeah.
Yes?
No? Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You're right. Tyr is going to win GSL.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, match number 2, Lucira against Deer.
Times that I've seen you lose your way, you're not in control, and you won't be told. All I can do to keep you safe is hold you close till you can breathe on your own, till you can breathe on your own. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it hot.
에너지 음료 핫식스는 GSL과 함께합니다.
언제나 있는 그대로의 맑고 깨끗함을 지켜가라고. 겨울을 잊은 강물이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
BT의 몸을 맡겨라.
새로운 영웅은 언제나 환영이야.
오버워치 5월 24일 출시. 예약 구매로 누구보다 빠르게 친구와 오픈 베타에 접속하세요.
거기 당신 내 이야기 들어볼래? 아주 오래된 얘기를 해줄게. 깊이 잠들었던 아기 비명을 지르며 저 어둠 속에서 자라나고 있지. 고대 신의 속삭임이.
회의가 좀 늦게 끝나서.
아 그래요? 괜찮아요. 그냥 게임 몇 판 하면서 기다리고 있을게요.
아씨 뭐 하는 거야 아무도. 아 오라고 좀. 사람들은 부서지지도 않네.
이상한 RPG 게임이 있습니다. 말리고
아이템 충분해요.
말리고
이번 뽑기 확률 별로예요.
또 말립니다.
참 좀 주세요.
뭘 믿고 이러는 걸까요?
믿는 구석이 있다. RPG 그대로의 RPG 불멸의 전사 2.
치킨 먹고 갈래. 치킨만 먹고 가라. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
차 뽑고 정확한 견적 뽑고 금융 혜택도 뽑고 자판기처럼 쉽게 차를 뽑다. 다나와 자동차.
지금 바로 여기 요기요.
피자통, 떡볶이통, 짬뽕통, 보쌈통. 대한민국 모든 배달음식 통을 응원합니다. 배달은 우리가 통이다.
웬열? 와, 어떻게 저렇게 부드럽게 움직이냐? 플렉스볼은 굴곡진 턱선에도 막힘이 없거든. 진짜 깔끔하다.
대세야 역시. 2,500만 명의 선택. 플렉스볼 아직도 안 써보셨나요? 질레트.
치킨 먹고 갈래. 한 번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
위기의 순간이 찾아오면 나의 두 번째 전사가 함께한다. 이번엔 듀얼이야. 스타일리시 듀얼 액션 RPG. 자신 있어?
You are in Cone.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she said, you can take a break.
Hot 6 GSL Season 1 CodeS.
If I was a Hearthstone card, I would be Acolyte of Zest. Every time Zest plays a game, draw a card. Welcome back to the code Zest.
Well, you know, I think our next matchup tonight is going to be much, much better. Possibly even the best one of the entire round of 8. It's the last one.
Wouldn't it be too hard to get there, right? Like,
yeah.
If we have a 3-1, we're already really close.
Yeah, I think this is destined to be the best best of 5 of the round of 8. And I am going to side with Lucera tonight.
Wow, okay. This one's really hard for me. I don't know who to side with. I'm siding with Deer, but I don't know even what the score is going to be. Like, this is... I think that they're going to be a pretty good match, but I'm just not exactly sure where both of their in this matchup where they're both at, because we've seen a lot of the other matchups out of them lately, and not a lot. Like, last round, neither of them played this matchup. Neither of them played a PVZ. Recently in Pro League, Deer has not really been playing a lot of PVZs, and Lucera played one that he cheesed against Creator.
Yeah. In total, it's 3-0 and 4-0 with these guys. So I mean, that's their. Neither of them have dropped a set in this matchup, but I mean, a lot of the stuff is from old stats.
Yeah, it really is. Like 3-0 against Choi. I remember that series. It was good. He played very well, but that was a long time ago, and that was a playing coach. So, yeah, man. I guess we'll see, but we have that interview coming up.
마지막 8강전입니다. 이번 4경기에
Welcome back, Sojung.
round of 8.
We have Lucera, my favorite, and Deer. Lucera has to win because we have this bet going on for StarCraft tonight. You guys have to stay tuned in. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyways, our last Zerg and our products from Samsung Galaxy. Let's see what they've got to say.
동준이가 3년 전에
Deer,
때 제게 인터뷰로
3 years ago in an interview, he tried to diss me. He was like a cute newbie back then, but now he has this long career and has this really experienced gamer, and now I'm very looking forward to playing against this experienced gamer.
네, 많이 컸긴 했는데
Well, I have grown a lot, I guess, but I have lost against him.
그래도 뭐 커졌다고 칭찬해 주셨으니까
But thank you for complimenting for me for growing. I won't let you down for that. I guess.
자, 오늘 이 8강전 준비는 모두 마쳤는데
Well, they're
서로
both
잘
ready.
됐는지 궁금하네요. 사실 프로리그에서 두 선수 모두 이번 주 성적이 안 좋습니다.
In Pro League, they
두 선수
both
영향은
haven't been
없어요.
doing so well.
네, 영향이 좀 있긴 한데
I think it will affect me a little bit, but my opponent has lost for AZVP too, and that would affect him more. Let's see what he's got to say.
준비는 많이 못했는데
I didn't actually get to prepare a lot,
저렇게 말하니까
but now Deer has mentioned it like it.
이기고 싶은
I
마음이
just really want to win. I just want to win.
네, 아무래도 이 바쁜 스케줄
I think
속에서
I can
모든
mimic him a
선수들이
lot. I'll show you guys later.
I want to hear it.
Because I have a
그래도
low
오늘
tone of voice. But
영승부가
anyways.
나올 것 같은 예감이거든요. 황강호 선수, 백동준 선수가 저그를 근데 박멸해버리겠다고 했어요.
Deer said he will kill all the Zergs. He's the last Zerg. Let's see.
있으세요?
일단 자신감은 있고
I have confidence, but
게임으로
I will just show you. I just want him to show you with games.
그렇군요. 백동준
I'm sorry,
선수
I'm really bad at it.
이번에 올라온 선수들 중에서 직전 시즌 커리어 하이입니다.
Deer has the highest career
그때 정말
last season
아쉽게 한 세트가 모자라서
in the semifinals, but he has a less of a set to go to finals in semifinals,
제가 저번
and he
인터뷰
wasn't
때
able to go to
저그를
finals. And he said,
박멸해버리겠다고 했는데
I said I wanted to kill all the Zergs, and as I practiced, it was really hard. So I am kind of I fear Zergs, but I think I should definitely win, and I will try to win.
자, 정말 중요한 관문에서 두
This
선수가
is an
만나게 됐습니다.
important
양보할 수
match
없는
for both of
대결인데요.
them.
서로에게
No one
한
can
마디씩
just give in.
나눠보겠습니다.
Let's see what they've got to
먼저
say
황강호
for each other. First, Lucera.
연습 때 힘들다고 했는데
I said it was really hard during
대회 때는 또 다를
practice, but it's
테니까
going to be different during competition, so
이겨줬으면 좋겠어.
I hope you win.
이길 수 있으면.
If you
네,
can.
다소 애매모호하긴
I couldn't tell if that was him or you.
선수 이길 수 있으면
Or
이겨라.
James Earl Jones, maybe.
네, 말하신 대로 연습이랑
said,
방송이랑 많이 달라가지고
broadcasters matches and practice is different, so I will try to win.
자, 이렇게 오늘
This
8강
was
마지막 경기에
it.
나서는 선수들의 각오를 들어봤는데요. 오늘 경기
So I'm going to hand this over to Wolf. If he will come over,
Alrighty.
I will see you guys later. Bye.
유일한 저그 황강 선수를 이제 믿어봐야 될 것 같습니다. 이거 지금 3년 만에 8강 가기 직전입니다. 정말 제대로 막혔네요. 이번에 다 잡았습니다. 몰아치는 그런 황강호 선수가 아주 강력하죠.
네, 이 속도의 황강호 선수를 따라갈 수 있는 선수가 별로 없어요. 우승자 출신의 백동준 선수입니다.
뭐 롱와 검투 선수끼리 싸우는 것 같아요. 백동준 선수 실력에 대한 자신감이 엄청납니다. 실력이 전면!
right. Welcome back, Wolf.
Thank you, Artosis. Well, taking a look at this this matchup, 5-1 is Deer. We had a chart earlier that said they had actually played more matches in these matchups than what is shown here, so it must not have been accurate. But Lucera 1-1, losing to Creator is I think the most important thing, and that was in very recent times, and a big upset there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Like, you would put Lucera above Creator, but in general, all of this is really, really old except for that one Creator game.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, why are you siding with Lucera? Is it a racial thing? Is it you're just liking Lucera's games versus the other races? What is it?
I like his games versus the other races. And his recent performances, being fielded by KT more recently, a nice pickup for them. Also, just his performance in Star League and Pro League in general in recent times. And I think you can attest some of Stats' practice, to Lucera. I think he's looking stronger than Lenok right now. So when Stats played, the PVZ finals versus Dark, and Lucera probably got a ton of great ZVP practice.
Okay.
The question is, though, is Stats better than Deer in PVZ? I don't know, because we haven't seen Deer play recent PVZs, like you said. So, I just feel like Lucera's kind of on a hot streak right now, and Deer's coming off of 2 losses in Pro League. In a totally different matchup, mind you, but still, it gets into your mind a little bit. And Deer seems to be a confidence, momentum-based player in tournaments. He's either like really on fire or not so much.
That's actually a pretty good analysis of who Deer is, I would say. And I think he's like very confident right now, like recently in his play, but we'll talk more about that. The game is starting. Game number 1 on Dusk Towers.
Over here in blue at the bottom of the map, the KT Zerg. He is.
KT 롤스터 러시아.
That's the faceless Lucera when he read the predictions today on Team Liquid. He was like, what are they thinking?
What were the predictions? And in the top right, in the red, our ex-Protoss champion.
Samsung Galaxy, Deer.
What were the predictions?
I actually I didn't read them. I assumed it's probably Deer favored just based on his the fact that he's a GSL champion, was like 6-1 until recently in Pro League.
Yeah, he's been doing really well in Pro League. Well, here's actually, you and I were talking about this morning, like these losses he had against Hero.
Yeah.
It felt to me like he was just so confident that he was going to win both games that he stopped trying or something like that. Like, that's the kind of feeling I got, where he's like,
sure.
okay, I'm holding this dumb Immortal, and he's not coming up this tiny ramp, and then like the Mothership core dies and he loses, and it's like, what? Why? What? And then, I mean, he was ahead so many times in the other game against on their like crest against Hero. It feels like Deer. Isn't he the guy that made all the Nexuses too and lost because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this guy
versus
like
Hyun, I think I want to say.
I think he gets really cocky when he gets into a game state that he knows leads to victory. I think he just becomes unbelievably sure that he'll win because he is such a great player. He's a GSL champion.
Yeah,
he won the WCS thing. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But right now his play is kind of on that level again where it's like, okay, you're definitely one of the best. And I don't know, maybe he's, too confident in these games. I could see him, if he drops the ball for a second, Lucera could absolutely come back and beat him if he's behind.
No, the question is, what sort of ZVP are we going to see out of Lucera? Are we going to see, Rogue, Dark, Baneling style? Solar was messing around with that a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Or are we going to see more traditional, old school Lurker, Ravager, Hydra? I guess a lot of it will depend on how Deer opens himself, and there's the Stargate coming up now. Question is answered.
Well, to just kind of jump back, like Lucera actually was using things like Baneling drops and defensive Lurker play like very early in Legacy of Void before we saw a lot of other players doing it. So if you just think to him throughout his career, he has a pretty big range. Definitely he can get very cheesy. Definitely he can play a big macro game. In general, I always think of him as someone that loves to have active units on the map, whether that's like a group of speedlings or something, and trying to get the most out of those.
Yeah, people used to joke, actually, when he was in his prime, after he was a finalist. He ended up losing to his teammate in ST at the time. But people used to joke that he made too many banelings in the ZVT matchup. Like, it's like, well, do you really need that many banelings? Of course, that was a different meta, and tanks work differently and everything else. But he's, I think, a player who gets very aggressive in the late game, is never afraid to attack with an army that might not even be better than what his opponent has, but he's like not hesitant to just move in and try to get a good angle and funnel units, you know, into a choke point, for example, and say, well, your army's better than mine, but if I fight you at this one spot, I can beat you. Baneling Nest coming up here, but no Evo Chamber. So, okay, there it is. I was going to say, like...
Yeah, there it is. And, I mean, with the Phoenix actually seeing that there are Speed Overlords and 2 of them coming out, you know what? I think that, like, this is really going to be on Deer's radar right now. And I'm not sure if you can really get this done against a Phoenix player that has this on their radar. If you just patrol some Phoenixes in the right areas, it's going to be hard for Lucira to make this pay off.
This is not going to be a Rogue Zest game here on Dust Towers, where even though he goes Phoenixes and sees some of the Overlords and kills a lot of rallied Overlords, it still gets away with a drop.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, like, even if he doesn't get to go Baneling drop, well, he's making a lot of lings, so I think still he's got an idea like that. Oh, man, look at this. So finding so many Overlords. But let's not forget, you can just go into, like, a Baneling Hydra style, like Solar used so many times against stats, and I actually think it's a pretty legit type of way to play. Maybe not every game, but there's definitely worse builds, worse strats.
Yeah, it's a composition that you build that really feels like... I don't know, I've been casting obviously a lot of Heroes of the Storm, but it almost feels like you're building like a comp in Heroes or something. It's like, well, the frontliners are your Banelings, and they just blow up, and the Hydras, you know, just do the damage from the back. You drop Force Fields down, and then the Hydras shoot over them, and it's a really strong unit composition. If the Force Fields are bad and you lose all your Adepts to Banelings, then that's horrible as well. And we've seen that occur multiple times. I feel like Pros still aren't perfectly comfortable in dealing with this style yet either, so it's pretty hot right now.
Yeah, it really is. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the worst maps to do it on, just because you have one ramp that they're going to be attacking up that defends 3 bases. So it feels to me like it's going to be like a hard place to really get as much value. But we'll see if he actually goes for like an all-in style here. He's got the Baneling speed on the way. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's just going to go and try to shove his way up the ramp.
Yeah,
in fact, Infestation Pit coming right up. This is really interesting.
So... Also, I want to point out, he did sneak one Overlord to the top, and 4 Banelings morphing, getting ready to go into that. They're not going to have speed by the time this drop hits, but it looks like Deer is really confident that he is not going to be encountering this, and his Phoenixes are now focused on harassment mode. Oh, look at this. He sees it with a Warp Prism, though.
Oh, that's brutal. And the Phoenixes are making a beeline to it. There's no way this is going to work out.
Yeah. I mean, as long as he pulls his probes even, like, sort of kind of slowly, like, he should still get away with them.
In fact, the Overlord doing some evasive maneuvers, but the Phoenixes should be able to spread out and find this. It's not like that expensive, but this is Overlord, what, number 5 that he's going to be losing if it does get found?
And 100 gas worth of Banelings, as well as, you know, the fact that I guess he's going to have to remake the Overlord supply blocks again.
Look at how many lings he's making. He's going straight to Hive. We don't have like a Hydralisk Den or a Roach Warren.
I think he's
just rushing to Ultra?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think he just wants to go straight Ultra because it will work out with the upgrades he's getting for the Lings and Banelings right now as well. He's making a macro hatch, which we've seen many Zerg players do in this matchup for that, to like try to, you know, give that extra larva for the Lings. We have a High Templar drop being set up meanwhile. Let's see if that ends up being successful.
Okay, I like the Spire being added on. This gives me hope for Lucira's strategy that he's going for here, but like, and look at what Deer is doing, right? He's getting Charge, he's getting Storm, sure, but I think he's a little bit unsure of what is going to be happening here, which would make sense because this is not something that you normally see, but like, for instance, against Banelings, you do want Force Fields like you were talking about before, and Ultralisks kind of trample that. So if he makes too many Sentries, too many Zealots, like a Ling, Bane, Ultralisk-based army could do very well against that.
Yeah, it's really tough to counter what we're about to see here. We're going to see that Storm drop go off, by the way. Storm is not quite done, actually. So he's about to be. I love that he has 2 Warp Prisms here. The second Warp Prism was scouted by those Overlords earlier, so he sends a second one to a different location. This is not going to be something that Lucera expects. And look at this, he didn't see it at all.
Wow,
12
really good.
drones there. Saves both Templar, I believe. Actually, did they go down? I think he saved them.
And look at this, actually. Adrenal Glands, he's continuing upgrading the Zerglings. He's never went for a Hydralisk Den. He's actually making some mutas right now.
Yeah, I think for Warp Prism defense, but he wanted to hide them. You see, he canceled those mutas that were about to pop out next to the Phoenix.
I didn't notice that, but that is actually awesome that you did. That's really cool.
Because, I mean, if he cancels, he hides it, but also maybe he knew they were going to die to the Phoenixes. But I guess this is just going to be for Warp Prism defense. And that's all these 2 mutas are going to be for. The thing is, if you only make 2, though, the Phoenixes can come over with the Warp Prism, and I don't know, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
As we see a Mothership being morphed.
This is just, he's going Massling Bane right now. He's like, he's only at 137 supply. Does he even have like enough larva to make enough units here to live?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't see the larva count, but like this is some wild strategy stuff coming out. That's a lot of Zealots. That doesn't do well against Banes.
No, the Archons will, and so will the Immortals, but now he has no support for them. Like, we just saw like 30 supply vanish in the blink of an eye there, and now the rest of the Lings are going to come clean up the Immortals, and even with 2 Archons here, it's not enough. Storm Drop will kill 7 more drones, but Phoenixes aren't going to save the day here, and this is starting to be pretty cost-efficient for Lucera right now.
This is so cool. This is so new and fresh. The thing is, like, when you use Ling Bane, you got to remember, like, after the battle, you just have whatever Lings are left over. Banes kill themselves to kill things. These are not long-term units where you continue to gain value. You gain value exactly 1 time out of them. Most of the time, right? The Zerglings are just, like, the most expendable unit in the game. So what we're watching here, like, he's got to have a bigger plan than, you know, just making Ling Bane.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't be able to actually finish him off. And it looks like it's probably going to be Broodlord.
Yeah, I mean, he's making a lot of Corruptors right now. He also scouted the Mothership. It's going to be useful versus that as well. It's funny because the Mothership is cloaking mostly Zealots right now, and the Zealots that are cloaked attack Banelings, they die anyway. Look at this Phoenix army trying to protect these High Temple. Looks like they will finally be killed, doing so much, getting so much value. He doesn't have any upgrades for these Corruptors, as the Observer is pointing out, so it's going to take a while to actually kill this Mothership if he wants to fight with that. But I think it is, like you were saying, going to be more Broodlord-oriented for them morphing right now. And Lucera doesn't have much of a gas bank, so every Broodlord counts. He can't be losing them for any reason. And Tempests are already on the way as he's finally starting to realize what's going on.
I'm, like, really speechless. This is so cool, man, what we're watching. And, you know, Deer's setting up another base now. So they're both going to be sitting on 5 bases. And Deer is trying to counter a strategy that I don't know if he's really played against, like, Ling Bane all game into just, like, Broodlords. But he's going into Tempest. So everything is, like, screaming to me that Deer is fine and in fine shape here, right?
Yeah. +1 on the way for Tempest right now, as this 5th base is being secured. I'm trying to figure out a way to where, like, when you have Broodlords in this matchup, in my experience in Legacy of the Void, commentating a lot of, like, mid to late game ZVP, if you have Broodlords, you usually win the game because they didn't have a response fast enough. But you don't win a game when they have Tempest and you keep making Broodlords. And you almost never, like in history of ever since like Tempests were introduced, do you ever beat a Tempest army by making more Corruptors? I mean, usually the process Storm has a good setup.
Have some Archons under there.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you clump up at all, your Corruptors will die. Like, the Corruptor is like a tricky anti-air unit. It's one of those ones where you kind of like have an overwhelming number and they clear the way for the rest of your army. That's like how, you know, generally that'll work. And I don't, is that going to be the case? Because I feel like there's, it seems like Deer is making the right units. He's making some Void Rays in here. He has Storm. He has Archons.
I think we're going to need to see, if he wants to make this Corruptor army work, we're going to need to see Vipers. He's going to have to use Abduct.
Yeah,
and he's going to have to use some Parasitic Bombs.
Agree with you there. I think that that's a good call.
But he is switching into potentially Ultras here, which is why I think the Void Ray is such a safe unit in late game ZVP or PvZ, because you can deal with Ultras decently well with that, but also you can deal with these Corruptors that try to come in. And look at this, it's just so hard to engage in this. Even with overwhelming Corruptor numbers, a few Archon hits will ruin his day, and Storm is here as well.
Definitely some damage being taken right there, and
he's killing the expensive Broodlords.
Yeah, Broodlords like really die very quickly to things like Tempest. So this is, I would definitely say that this is not working out so far for Lucira.
Yeah.
Like, he's still got good supply. He's got a great economy right now, so it's not like the game is over right now because this one attack isn't working, but where does he go from here?
Well, he's going to try to do some Baneling drops. I mean, that's something. And, oh, going to get some great hits on some high temp.